Hello, welcome to Pegasus Books. Tonight we're presenting part 2 of Mosh Lit, which is a new event series in collaboration between Pegasus and 924 Gilman. Thanks. Yeah, I also just wanted to say a big thank you to 924 Gilman for making this event series happen. So please give a welcome to them, or thank you for them.
Yay!
Yeah, support them if you can. I'm going to pass you over now to the publisher of the book we're discussing tonight. Her name's Jennifer Joseph, the publisher.
Thank you. All right. All right, so here's Dave's book. You know, the whole publishing of this book was really interesting. You know, in February, I got an email from a mutual pal. You know, most of the book had been written. It was a pleasure to work on with him because there were so many great fucking stories. And you know what? I remember seeing MDC back in the 80s, you know, playing with the DKs at the Democratic Convention in front of Moscone, at the farm. You know, it was one of these things where it was as much part of my own personal history from the 80s as it was everybody else's in San Francisco. MDC was such a part of the whole scene back in the day, you know, that it was just more fun than barrel monkeys to work on this book. And I pushed Dave. I was like, let's put some photos in here. Let's get some flyers. Let's really make it happen. And it all came together. And sure enough, Dave had books for his tour in April.
Yep.
22 shows in 22 days in 22 cities. How does he do it? I don't know, but it's awesome. So thanks so much for coming out tonight. Thanks for Pegasus for sponsoring, and thanks so much to Gilman Street for co-sponsoring. So without further ado, the author, Dave Dictor from MDC.
So, hi everybody. So, this is my first official bookstore reading. I did read in a few record stores on this tour, and the rest was actually on punk rock clubs. And I've tried to read just about every night. A couple times I got too tired. First, I want to thank Jennifer. You know, you hand your manuscript into someone, you know, and it's thumbs up or thumbs down, literally. And right away, she said, I like it. And, you know, if you ask writers out there, there's a lot of rejection out there. And then on top of that, as we started working together, I started realizing she's very talented, and she could take good stories that I had of things that I lived and just embellish them and just give it, you know, a kind of a twist. And I'm really thankful because, you know, there's that last 10% that really makes something that's good to something that's better than good, I felt got accomplished. And we've never really had a disagreement. It's just been an easy, fun relationship. I totally respect what she's been doing with the authors in San Francisco and all around the world. I met one of them here tonight. So thank you, Jennifer Joseph.
Thanks, Steve.
And about everything else, thanks for coming, everybody. You know, I was talking to my friend Bill Collins about who my real friends are in the Bay Area, and I see, you know, 4 or 5 of them here. Like, who do I count as a real friend? You know, because you get a lot of acquaintances, and I know not every friend can be everywhere, and I know there's a very important hockey game tonight, which involving Sharks, and you know. And I understand people got busy lives, but you know, thanks to my buddies like Mike and Renee and Gabrielle, and my friend Becca back there, you know, for showing up, and Kamala for doing this with Jesse. It really, it's how do I say fucking beautiful without being so fucked up? Just really, really sweet.
Hippie
is the way to say it. And so here I am. I'm going to try to navigate sitting on this stool. And if you see me like shuffling around or ditch it at the end, I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm just trying to be comfortable in my own skin on this new platform. And so the book, you know, I started writing for Maximum Rock and Roll back in the day, and if you know, I was on the first cover of Maximum Rock and Roll, and I love Timmy Yo, and I talk about in the book how I was in Austin, Texas, in a band. We were called the Stains, and we were in the scene there with the Dicks and the Big Boys and the Offenders and a lot of other bands that you may not have heard of. But you know, back in the day, you know, the way to try to make it was to try to get a lot of local gigs, and hopefully someone's reputation was going to grow, and next thing you know, someone was going to come with a rich and famous contract, and you were going to open up for the Ramones or the Dead Boys or something like that. And then what happened, we were in Austin like the late '79 and 80, and Fear came through, and DOA came through, and Black Flag came through, and the Subhumans from Canada came through. And, you know, we just kind of like saw them pull up to the club in their van, and they come rolling out of some tiny Econoline van, and you'd look in the van and go, you all get in there, you know, and like there'd be 7, 8, 9 of them in there, you know, 4 or 5 band members, 2 or 3 roadies and drivers. And, you know, it kind of dawned on me, no, you know, record label rep was going to come to our show in Austin to see us open for 4 bands in front of the Big Boys or something like that. So if you had to make it, you truly had to, you know, DIY it, you know, do it yourself. And so we made this John Wayne Was a Nazi single. I wrote the song, and I tried to give it to the band The Next, who are a good band in Austin, and the singer of The Next said to me, "You should do it, Dave. This song is you." And, you know, it finally kind of hit me that, you know, I should start one, because I didn't see myself as a punk. I was kind of like a folk guitarist, and I was strumming my guitar around. I'd written some songs, you know, that ended up going into MDC before punk rock, but, you know, I just didn't see myself with that. I enjoyed going to the punk events and found myself fitting in with punks in 77, 78, 79, and enjoying being around these great people. There's a band called the Huns, and they got into the picture of Rolling Stone magazine saying "Eat Scum Death," and he got arrested off the stage. And, you know, there's just so much action to it, and everything was, if you lived in that period, pretty staid in the rock hippie scene. Everyone had kind of sold out, and the Jefferson Airplane became Jefferson Starship, and it just was stadium rock at its worst. You know, there's these gigs with 40,000 people, and you saw The Who, and I didn't realize Peter Townsend had a cast on his hand the whole time, and you realize how far away I was from it. And then I started hanging out with these punks, and, you know, there it was open mic night at this new club called Raul's in Austin. And, you know, there might be 12 people there or 30 people there, but it was so immediate and so real. And I got up one night and with my acoustic guitar and played I Hate Work, because I had been working at Domino's, and I was delivering pizzas to these overprivileged white guys. Frat boys is another term that they used in Texas. And I finished my shift, and the other driver hadn't come in, and my boss said, "I need you to stay." And I'm like, oh. I went into the bathroom and locked the door, and I wrote out the song I Hate Work on toilet paper in the bathroom, and came out. And I forget exactly what happened. I think I had to deliver one more pizza, but it was one of my last pizzas I ever delivered. And you know, and I think right then and there, and I took that song down to the open mic night and played it for the kids at, you know, the club. And I say the kids because I was 22, 23, and they were like 16, 17. And it was a tavern kind of place where kids could get into it. It wasn't a 21-year-old or an over bar. It was kind of a tavern with kind of like loose rules. And if they put up enough, you know, red check tablecloths, you could get away with it being a taqueria / that served beer. And I played I Hate Work, and I mean, they were dancing, the pogoing, and it was just like, wow. And they were like, you know, they were coming up with names, what I should name my band. And I just like, fuck, these are my people, you know, like, I'm not, you know, Willie Nelson's not gonna come out of his limousine, or Bob Weir, the Grateful Dead, or, you know, I just had this, you know, romantic idea that I was gonna get found and get swept off my feet. I was gonna be riding around the back of, you know, Jerry Jeff Walker's tour bus and just strumming out songs, and that never happened. What I did get was to hang out with the punks at Raul's, and it was just a wonderful, great scene.